Do you truly believe the life you inhabit is the only one you have ever known or ever will? Welcome to the Charon Files. The stories you are about to hear are testimonies from living witnesses of what moves beyond understanding, of what refuses to be explained. Each of them stood at the edge of what is known and looked into what lies beyond it. My name is Charon, Ferryman of the Dead, the one who waits at that edge. What follows is what they brought back. May they prepare you for your own future encounters. There are moments when the veil between what we perceive as reality and the vast unwritten tapestry of existence thins to a whisper. It is in these fragile instances that the echoes of what was or what might yet be resonate with an unnerving clarity. The boundaries of a single life, a singular consciousness, begin to fray, revealing threads that stretch beyond birth and through death itself. Here the past is not merely a memory, but a living, influencing force. The future, not merely a speculation, but a preordained path. What we call free will can feel like a fleeting illusion when confronted with the insistent murmurs of a destiny already chosen, or a life already lived. These accounts bear witness to such a subtle, yet profound, fracturing of linear experience, where the self is revealed to be far more intricate and far less contained than we often dare to imagine. Ella, residing in Bel Air, Kansas, recounts a persistent memory of choosing her family before birth and receiving a preordained life goal, later receiving a direct message from her deceased father through an angelic presence.
I have a memory I've been trying to forget since the day I was born. I remember my dream clearly, even 33 years after I was born. I'm waiting in a white room. Then I'm in a room with 3 television screens in front of me with a My Guide next to me. She tells me what each family is like. Then, to pick which one I connect to the most. I picked my family. Then, she tells me in this life, my goal will be to not bring anyone else into the world. That this time around might be my last, if I don't. I secretly think that is why, at 33, I'm very child-free. Then, there's my last dream that beyond changed my life. In this dream, August 17th, 2008, I dreamt I was in a somber room. There was an angel, whose face was blackened out. It was a female. She told me the only reason she's contacting me is because of my father. He had asked relentlessly to come back and say goodbye, but death in his case was permanent. My father appeared. Asked, "What is going on?" He replied that he will not be returning. He doesn't want to, but knows it's for the best, and everything he has taught me to do, whether fixing a car, planting a tree, remodeling the house, it was for the day he would no longer be around. I remember I made a face and said, "You have time." Then he cut me off and started to yell at me to wake up. I did wake up. It was 6:40-something a.m. My mom was frantically running around in their room with my sister on the phone with 911. She was preparing to administer CPR. I just couldn't take it. I disassociated, I think. I went downstairs, opened the garage door for the ambulance and fire truck. After, I went to the backyard and lit my first cigarette. They pronounced him deceased at 7-something a.m. My first dream solidified my belief in reincarnation. After, reading about it and learning more, my second dream gave me a clearer picture of the afterlife. It is so beautiful and tranquil, where religion doesn't exist the way people believe it does. I'm not trying to convert you or spread any religion. I'm not religious at all. Just be good human beings.
From Westchester, Pennsylvania, Julia in Undertaker describes an inexplicable moment where an unseen force commanded her to stop an action, overriding her own free will while handling unclaimed ashes.
Something happened, and I've always been skeptical. Until today. I am an Undertaker, and I have been for the past 8 years. I've always been skeptical when it comes to the afterlife, especially the paranormal. But today, something happened that I cannot explain. I was cleaning unclaimed ashes out of the funeral home where I work. We are moving out of the old Victorian building we operate out of into a new funeral home. For the past week, we have been making a slow transition, moving out of our current home into our new one. In our basement, we have unclaimed ashes going as far back as the 1970s. I just had my headphones in, putting the boxes into bags so we could send them to the local crematorium for them to be scattered. I must have put away hundreds of boxes of ashes without even thinking about it. I was just listening to a podcast, getting another task ticked off my to-do list. I was putting one box into the bag and felt my body and brain freeze with the word N-O, but I didn't hear anything. It's hard to explain what I felt. The best I can explain it is that my own free will had gone, and I was ordered to stop what I was doing. I stopped immediately and put the box of ashes in my hand onto the table. On closer inspection, there were 2 boxes I was going to put in 2 separate bags. One small box and one normal-sized one. Let's just say one box was labeled Hannah Williams. On top of Hannah Williams's ashes, there was a box labeled Baby Williams. I presume they are mother and baby, who I was about to separate into 2 separate bags, which I find quite spooky because I didn't read the labels before. I was doing a mundane task as fast as I could with my existing duties and clearing the premises. I was just trying to get things done as fast as possible and was not paying attention to the names. I just cannot explain this for the life of me. I cannot come up with an explanation for this. I'm not scared, nor am I excited about what I felt. I just feel confused about the whole situation.
Nora in New York has carried memories since childhood of a past life as a firefighter who died in a large fire involving 2 buildings, continuing to feel the impact of that event on the present world.
Ever since I was born and could talk, which was a very young age, I always talked about when I was a man. It constantly confused my parents since I was born a girl. I talked about being a firefighter in New York, and I kept talking about how one day I was in a very large fire with 2 large buildings, and during the fire I fell down and everything went dark. I sealed the deal when my mom put on a documentary about 9/11, and I pointed at the towers and went, "That's where I died." A lot of people forget these sorts of memories past a young age, but I actually remembered mine pretty well. It feels weird, knowing I left behind a wife and a child. Knowing I have to move forward with my life anyways. Seeing the effects of my death on the world, being pissed off at seeing all the TSA security theater added that still allows things to be slipped through. Knowing that now there's children on a no-fly list just for being Muslim. I have an aunt from a Southeast Asian country who is Muslim and wouldn't hurt a fly. Seeing that she struggles to live here because of how I died is certainly a feeling. I got martyred. I don't like it. I wish what happened to me never happened again. But I feel like things have taken a turn for the draconian. Seeing the world get worse because of what happened to me is... I don't know how to describe it. To see people perform acts and have stronger patriotism in my honor when I'm actively protesting what happens, yet I can't say that I was one of the people who died because I would be called crazy or disrespectful.
The self, it seems, is not merely contained within a single lifetime or a singular moment, but echoes through an unseen continuum, subtly distorting the linearity of existence. The names of the witnesses have been changed to maintain anonymity. If what you have heard tonight mirrors something you have experienced, leave your story in a comment below and we will include it in a future episode. Don't forget to subscribe. You wouldn't want to miss